My son, I have to put limits on you. Enough with the video games. I don't want you to play them at all. However, it is written in the Bible, fathers, do not irritate your children. Anyway, enough. You need limits because I love you. God put limits on me. He said, don't curse. Don't watch violent TV shows. Don't go out at night. Don't have sex with that beautiful girl at the Jehovah's Witness Kingdom Hall. Keep putting up with your mother, or keep putting up with Anna, my wife. God put limits on me, son. God put limits on me, and because I'm older than you, I know more things than you. So I'm gonna put limits on you. I do it because I don't want you to waste your time. If you could make $100 an hour by playing video games, then I would say go ahead. Because you would be able to feed your children. You would be able to feed yourself. You would be able to buy clothes. You would be able to help other people. But that is not how life works. There is work, and the work that you need to know how to do is basic carpentry. Later you'll want to, already right now you want to build a doghouse. Later your son will want to build a doghouse. I haven't built a doghouse, my son, because I don't know how. I didn't have a dad. So I tell you to learn carpentry so that you can build a doghouse with your son. You remember the cousin Miguelito's words? He said that he could build a doghouse and that he could be a carpenter because he built a doghouse when he was little. That is true. If you can build a doghouse, you can work as a carpenter. It's a very important skill. And it opens the door to other things. You need to fix something. You need to make a bookcase, a bookshelf. You need to put a shelf. You can do it. And if you become an expert, you can even fix your roof when it starts to rain. I lived in a house in Chicago that the rain would fall all the way down into the carpet. And my mom would put kitchen pots all over the place. It was like a musical. It was musical. But you know what? As a child, I had a brain that I didn't know something was wrong with the house, except that it was strange that we had pots all over the house. In the winter, it got so cold in there that my mom's friend, Ardelia Blackman, we used to call her D, she one time visited us and told us to go with her to her house because it was too cold in winter. We slept in well, I slept in my own room, I think. Yeah, I think so. That was an act of kindness. And she used to pick cotton as a child, my son. She was a black lady, and she used to work when she was 4 or 5 years old, picking cotton as a child. My son, in today's society, children don't work. Someone said that it was against the rules to work unless you have your own business, like a father and son, and he says, pass me that pipe or that hammer or something. But even there are some jobs that children are not allowed to do, like climb that ladder and paint that wall up there. hmm I don't know if that one's allowed, but there are dangerous jobs that children are not allowed to do. However, when I was 16, my friend worked on uh, doing some roofing work, fixing roofs. And he mentioned how a co-worker, of course someone older than him, fell off the roof. In Chicago, the roofs are very steep. They're like a pyramid. You could, so, and the thing is, you fall down, but you don't die. You're like 3 floors up, but you're injured, and probably will never work again. Now they have laws about workman's compensation. Like if you get hurt, they will give you money. The insurance company will give you money. What happens many times, though, is that you need to go to court, and at the same time you're not feeling well because you've been injured. And finally, a year later, maybe you win the case and they start giving you the money. But you need a lawyer who takes part of the money. Life is difficult, my son. You need limits, I need limits. If I go out at night, what do I get? Didn't we see those 2 men running? I thought one was chasing the other, but they were both just trying to get across the street, but they were making too much noise. I did cross a street light the other day, and it did feel like a race. It started with 20 seconds, or maybe it was 19, 18, and I had only that much time to get across that street. Well, it's nice to know how much time you have, but sometimes you wonder, do you have enough to cross the street without getting hit by a car? All right, my son. Everybody needs limits. We've even seen, well, I've seen police officers get pulled over for going too fast. One was a Miami police officer. He got pulled over by the state trooper, the state of Florida trooper. And the trooper said, "Where are you going so fast?" And it wasn't a police car. And then he answered her that he was going to work. And she said, "At 120 miles per hour?" So she pulled him over, and I think she put him in jail. Oh, and he wasn't going to go to work as a police officer. He was going to go to work as at his second job. Some of these police officers have 2 jobs. But he was using a police vehicle for personal use. Yeah, it's a morality issue and a safety issue. He shouldn't go that fast unless it was an emergency, and there was no emergency. All right. So you need limits, my son, and I give you limits because I love you. there is a trade-off. The trade-off is you need time to learn something useful so that later you can be a good dad. I didn't learn any money skills, my son, except I use other people. I don't abuse. I use other people's talents. I am like in the X-Men, I am like the Professor Xavier. I use my brain and I say, just like your grandpa did also, your great grandpa. The fat man he would put to work in the kitchen. The strong man would carry the flag. The disobedient one, he told them, show up here at 12 midnight. At midnight. The one with the long legs, take this message to Officer so-and-so. This is what your great-grandpa did in the army in Honduras. He told men what to do, but that was because he already had learned to give orders, and he told me to do the same, to learn to give orders. I have finally learned to do that. I'm beginning to learn, at least, now that I'm old. I love you. Limits are useful, my son. They help us.